Hi everybody, this is Jamie the Board Game Man, and today we're going to look at a newer game. This game is from 2019. It plays 2 to 4 players. It roughly plays between 30 to 45 minutes. And what's interesting about this game is you're planting trees, and you're laying down leaves after they've blown off the trees. I know, I thought the same thing. How can that be fun? This is a fascinating game, and how someone can come up with this idea is just amazing. This game is by Floodgate Games. It is called BOSK. It is a game of majestic trees and falling leaves. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Doesn't it grab your attention a little bit? Well, let's head on over to the gamers table, and I'm going to show you how to play BOSK. All right, everybody, here we are at the gamers table. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and show you the awesome components to this game. They are absolutely beautiful. First and foremost, we have the rule book. It's just a couple pages. Shows you how to score and how to lay down the trees, etc., which I'll be showing you how to do. So really, really good job on the instruction booklet. Very beautiful. Then you have the board itself. It folds out into a little square. So what you're going to go ahead and open it, and it is double-sided. One side pertains to a 2-player game. You see the squares are pretty good size. You can use the entire board. This is the 2-player side. If you have 3 or 4 players, you will flip it over. And how you know that is because the squares are a little smaller, and you also have this white border line. For a 3-player game, you will plant all your trees within that white border. If it's a 4-player game, you can place it anywhere on the board. Okay, that's the difference. You also have the score tracker. Score tracker is actually kind of cool. I like that it has both the serpentine pattern. This is actually left to right, sorry. So you go left to 10, 11, 12, like so on. Or you can flip it over and have it the serpentine way, where you go right to left and so on. So you can choose which side you want to use. You also have the first player marker, which is a cool hiker. That's the first player marker. Here is your wind board, which I will obviously show you how this works later on in the game. And then you actually have your wind tracker here, which is a little white arrow. And now, here is the star of the game. First and foremost, you have these little boxes and that you can keep every player's pieces in that correspond to the trees that you have. So for instance, in purple, you're going to have a little purple box, and it comes with 8 trees. 2 of each have, all of them have numbers on them. Each of them have 2 1s, 2 2s. As you can see, every tree is numbered. You'll have 2 3s, and you'll have 2 4s. So you have 2 of each number, 1 through 4. You also have these leaf markers. They are numbered 2 through 8, and you also have one that has a squirrel on it. Then you have the action leaves. That's what these are called. They're actually little wood leaves, which is really cool. And they also come with a squirrel marker in there as well. And each player has all of these. Okay, so that is the components of the game. Now, let me show you how to play the game. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and keep it on this side. We're going to do a 3-player game. So let's go ahead and we'll ditch the red. So the red will be out of the game. Let me put that aside. And we'll have a 3-player game. Here we go. Okay. All right, so here we go. So the first player, we'll put yellow over here, we'll put orange right here, we'll put purple in front of me, and these are going to be the 3 different players. Now, what the players are going to start off by doing, let me bring this board up a little bit so you can see the entire board. There we go. Since we're doing a 3-player game, all trees must be planted within the white lines. The first, what you do in this game, whoever has the most points after all 4 seasons have been played wins the game. You're going to start off in springtime. And in the springtime, you are going to start planting your trees. It does not matter what order you put them in, what numbers you put them in. Now later on, there's a lot of strategy involved, but I'm not going to go over all the strategy because once you kind of see how it works, you're going to understand where the strategy comes through, and then you'll kind of find out, you'll figure out for yourself how the strategy works. So each player is going to take a turn placing any numbered tree, like I said, 1 through 4, you have 2 of each, and place them on an intersection where two trees will intersect with each other. So say like the purple player will put one here, and then the orange will take, like a 4 or so on, and he's going to put one here, and then yellow will take a turn, grab any color, any number tree, and put one here, and so on. Now you can see they put them on the little intersections. Okay, so let's go ahead and speed up. I'm going to go ahead and place all the players' trees out, and let me show you that right now. Okay, here we are, and spring is now concluded. So after every person has taken their turn putting down a tree on the board, as soon as the final tree is placed, spring is now over. Now you go into the summer, and that's when the hikers like to come out and they start to walk the trails and looking at all the trees that have been planted. Da, 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 da. And each one of these rows and columns, you'll be adding up the points of the trees and to see who has the most points in each one of these trees. And that's how the scoring goes. Now, the scoring is very, very interesting. Let me go over each one of the scenarios. So what happens is, say the hiker, this is the first row that they're going to look at. Okay, you're going to look at this first row, and you're going to see there's one tree for the yellow team that has 2 points, and this is an orange tree that has 3. So in this case scenario, if there is one player that has first place by themselves, and there is one second place person, and that is in this case. So we have one person that has the most points in that row. This is a second player that has the second most points. Then what happens is, this player would get 2 points, and this player would get 1 point. Now, if you try to remember here, here is the scoring for the summer scoring. It is in the back of the rule book. Okay, so you can see here it says if you have one player in first and one player in second, the first player would get 2 points, and the second place would get 1 point. So in this case, when you go over to the score tracker over here, which I placed right here, you're going to put one of each leaf off to the side to use as a score tracker. So the orange would get 2 points for having the most in that row, and yellow would get 1 point, just like so. Okay, now we'll move back over, and let's look at row 2. So now this hiker is going to go through this trail. Okay, so now in this case, you see the purple tree has 3. Then you have 2 second players that are tied. This is a 1, and this is a 1 for orange and yellow. In this case scenario, if there's one player that's in first place, and if there's 2 or more players that tie for second place, first place would get 2 points. The tied second players would get nothing. And let me show you on the summer scoring here. As you can see, the second row there is one person that got first place, but there's 2 or more that got second place. So the first player would get 2 points, and the second players would get 0. Okay, kind of tricky. So that's the second scoring scenario. So what you would do is the purple team would get the 2 points. You put the purple over here on the 2, and then let's see here. Yeah, orange and yellow would not get anything. Okay, so that's how that works. Now you go to the next row. This row here, there's only one tree in this whole row, and it's the orange team. They have a 2. Nobody else is in there. If that happens, if there's only one first place player and no other players, no second place, no nothing, then that player will receive 3 points. And let me show you that again. As you can see in the third row here, if there is one player that gets first place but nobody else, first player gets 3, sorry for the glare, 3 points. Okay, so just like that, orange would get 3 points, and he moves up to 5. Okay, just like so. There we go. Okay, now the one last scenario that we have, let's go to this row. So say in this row we had a yellow tree that had 3, a purple tree that had 3. So say we had 2+ players that were in first place. And it doesn't matter how many is in second place. It doesn't matter. The 2 people that tie for first place in that row get 1 point each. And any other player do not get any points. So you can see here in the summer, it says if you have 2 or more players there first place, it doesn't matter how many you have in second, they get 1 point each. So in this case, In this scenario, the purple tree and the yellow tree would both get 1 point each because they're both tied for first place. So purple will get 1 point and yellow would get 1 point. Okay? And those are 4 different scenarios that happens in the scoring. And like for here, we'll go to the next row here. Purple has a score of 6. And then there's an orange tree of 4. So this would be, we have a player that's in first place and a player that's in second place. So obviously the purple would be first place. They would get 2 points. And then the second place player would get 1 point. Okay, and so on. So that's what you do for each row. After you're done with each row and you do the scoring on the scoring track, you would come down the columns next. And you would go down this way. And you would do the same thing. Now in this row here, nobody has any trees here. So nobody would get any points for this trail. And so on. So you first go this way, and it doesn't matter which way you go first, because you're going to do every single line up and every single down the side. And that would be the end of summer, once all the scoring is complete, okay? Once all the scoring is complete, you'll come over here. You can see I started doing the scoring down here, okay? The player with the least amount of points will start autumn, or fall, whatever you want to call it, okay? And that's when these leaves come in handy. Let me go ahead and show you the leaf tokens that I was showing you earlier. Let's go ahead and bring it back over here to the board. And these are the leaf tokens I was showing you. It's from 2 to 8, and there's also a scroll, which I'll go over in a moment. Okay. First and foremost, at the very beginning, we have the wind board that I was telling you about. So the player with the least amount of points after the summertime gets to place the wind board. Let me go ahead and put this camera up top again. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. So now, like I said, the player that has the least amount of points after summertime begins the autumn. And how you do that is you have the wind board. That person gets to choose any side of the board to place the wind. Any side whatsoever. Let's just say, so it's easier for me to show you here, the player puts it up here, okay? So what happens is, okay, we got the wind board, and now yellow would be the first player. So yellow would be the first player here. And let's go ahead and move this up a little bit because I have a little more room. There we go. Put that way you can see the leaves and all that good stuff, okay? And yellow would be the first player now. So yellow has the first player marker. And now yellow is going to go ahead and place this little arrow, which is the wind indicator, on the first one. Now we're starting the autumn. And this is when the winds start to come and the leaves start blowing off the trees. So what you're going to do is under the 1 here, which is the very first thing, which is, I'll bring it up a little closer here. You're going to put the white arrow right up here, okay? So what you're going to do is it's right up here. We're going to go ahead and place the white arrow right here. Now, each player, what they have to do is they have to choose one of their 2 1 trees. These numbers make a difference. These are the numbers that correspond to the tree numbers, okay? So on 1, all the leaves must blow this direction, okay? That's because it's blowing straight up. So every player has to look at their 1s and go, okay, let me see here. What do we have? Yellow's going to go first. Yellow's going to look and see where their 1 trees are. So yellow has a tree here that's 1. And yellow has a, let's see, where's their other 1 tree? The other 1 tree is right here, okay? This is when the leaf tiles come into play. This is going to determine how many leaves you want to lay down on the board, okay? So let's bring yellow over here. And this is when these are called active leaves. And when they're going to say, okay, I want to start with this 1 here. And let's just say they want to lay down, let's see, 4 leaves. Let's just say they choose 4, okay? What they're going to do is they're going to take this leaf, okay? And they're going to take 4 of the leaves out of their box here. There we go. And now, here's the 4 leaves, okay? And you're going to start laying them on the board. And there's a little rule as to where you can lay down the leaves. So obviously, they must go this way, okay? So what you can do is when you lay down your first leaf, it has to be within the first 2 spaces that are in front of the tree. So in this case, I can either choose this square or this square. So he's going to go ahead and let's say he puts a leaf here. Okay. Now, from this leaf, he can choose. Now remember, he has to go this direction. You can't put them sideways. They all have to go this way because this is the way the wind's blowing. You can choose one of the 3 squares that are in front of that leaf. So let's just say he wants to go here. Then you have the 3 squares in front of that. He's going to put one here. And he's going to put one here. Okay. And that will be the 4 leaves that he laid down. And the 4 goes back in the box and is no longer used. Okay. Then the next player is orange. Orange is going to look for their 1 tree. And here we go. 1 tree here and a 1 tree here. So now he can decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay down, let's see, he wants to lay down 5 leaves. So he's going to take the 5, and he's going to take his box, and he's going to take 5 of the leaves out of his box. 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to take 5 of his orange leaves out, and he's going to start putting them out. Here's the orange tree that he wants to put right here. So what he's going to do is he's going to, remember, within the first 2 squares in the front, and he has to blow this way, he's going to go ahead and put one here. Then let's say he puts one here. And let's say he puts one here. And he wants to put one here and here. Okay, just like that. Those are the 5 leaves that he's placed. He's good to go. He puts the 5 leaf in here, and he's done. Then it's purple's turn. Now let's just say purple, both the purple ones are over here. So he has very limited space to put any leaves over here because he's so far up. And he put both of his 1 trees up here. So he would probably only maybe put like 2 or 3 up here. I think he has room for 3. So let's put 3. And then purple's going to go ahead and grab 3 of their leaves and put them like so. So I put one right here, put one right here, and maybe put one over here. Okay, it's because the border line is right there, so you can only put 3 there. And then the 3 leaf puts back in the box. Now we go back. After everyone's done their round, then the wind shifts. Now it's going to the right, and now all the 2 trees. So now we're going to look at the trees, and now it's going to go back to yellow, because yellow started off in first. And he's going to look for his 2 tree. He has a 2 tree here, and his other 2 trees way up here. So now we're going to go this way. Now this is a great opportunity. I'm going to show you what happens here. Now all the leaves must blow this way, okay? So let's just say, let me see here. Let me go ahead and put, oh, that's perfect. Orange would be a great way to show you. Because you're probably thinking, well, what if I want to put a leaf on top of somebody else's? I'm going to show you that next. So let's just say here's the yellow 2, and he's going to lay down, let's just say, I'm just going to lay down a couple just to show you what the deal is here. He wants to lay down 2, okay, just to show you what orange can do here. So he's going to put 2 in front of there, or the 1 with the 2, and then he's going to put another one here. So we'll just say that, okay? And then 2 is done there, okay? Now I want to show you what happens when you want to put it on top of another leaf. So here we go with orange. Orange is going to look for their 2. Here is orange's 2 here. Okay? They have to go this way. Now we're blowing that way. So what he's going to do, let's just say he wants to do, now I can show you an example. He wants to do 6. He wants to lay down 6 leaves, okay? So what he's going to do is he's going to lay down the 6th leaf. He's going to take out 6 leaves out of his container here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? And then he's going to start laying down the 6 leaves. Now, obviously, the first leaf has to be within the first 2 spaces in front of his tree. So let's just say he wants to lay a leaf right here. Okay, that's 1. Now he wants to put a leaf on top of this yellow to take over that spot. And later on, I'll tell you exactly how important that is to take that spot. So what he has to do is he's going to put that leaf on top of that yellow leaf. Now, in order for him to do that, he has to sacrifice the number of leaves that he's putting his leaf on top of. So in this case, there's only 1 leaf there, okay? So what he's going to do is he's going to pay 1 leaf, put that away, And now he gets to lay that leaf on top. Just like so. Say he wants to do it again. Say he wants to take over that spot. Well, it would cost him 1 leaf because there's 1 leaf underneath. Then he can lay that leaf on top of that yellow. So it'll actually cost you the amount of leaves that are underneath there. Now say, for instance, yellow comes out and yellow wants to put a leaf on top of that. Then what would happen is, say, that he had 4 leaves. Say he chose 4. Let's bring 4 leaves out here. Okay. And he wants to retake that right there. What he'll do is it's going to cost him 2 leaves, because now there's 2 leaves he's going to place that leaf on top of. So he would have to take 2 leaves to spend those 2 just to take over that. Oops. Gotta keep it on top just like that. There we go. So this, and then this yellow leaf will go on top of that. Now, let me discuss the squirrel. What does a squirrel do? We all want to know what the squirrel leaf does. So say you want to use your squirrel leaf here, okay? So say he puts a squirrel on here, and this is his tree here. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take your squirrel out of your box. Pretty cute little squirrel, okay? You can use the squirrel any 3 rows, up to 3 rows, in front of your tree. And you can use the 3. So it's 3 squares. So it's within 3 rows in front of your tree, 3 spaces, okay? So you can put it anywhere on the board within those 3 rows. So say he wants to take over this pile here, okay? It will not cost you anything when you use a squirrel. All you do is you just use your squirrel, put it back in your box, and you're going to place that squirrel right on top, just like so. Now, after you plant your tree, and that way, that is yours for good. No one else can take over that stack now. You can't put another squirrel on top of it. You can't put another leaf on top of it. That's it. Now, after you lay down your leaves, so for instance, on this one, we did 2 leaves. You will remove the tree once you lay down the leaves for that tree. I almost forgot to tell you that. So for instance, on this one, we lay down 2, so you'll take that tree and take it off. We did that for this one here. We did the leaves. After you do the leaves, you take off the tree, okay, and so on. We did the leaves for this tree, so we would take that off. Say purple for this one. You have 3. It was facing down this way, so you'd go to the next round after everyone did their round, another second round of laying down leaves, I mean. Then we got 3. So you look at this 3 leaf, maybe he'll put 2. So let's just say he puts 2 here, like so, and then he would remove the tree once the tree lost its leaves. So as soon as the tree loses its leaves, you're good. You're done and good to go. And you'll do the same thing for the 4th round. You'll go this way, and all the wind will be blowing this way on your 4 trees. Now the final 4, as you see here, they have asterisks, which means you can use any color, any number tree you want to use for the blown over trees, to lay down your leaves. So whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 you still have left over, you can choose any one of those, as long as and you still control the wind. So whatever tree you choose, it needs to blow this way, this way, this way, and this way, whatever direction the wind's blowing. But these it doesn't matter. These ones, it has to be 1 tree, 2 tree, 3 tree, and a 4 tree. These 4 are whatever you choose to do, okay? And let me show you how it would look after you finish all 8 of these rounds and all the trees are removed and all the leaves are put down. Okay, so here we are. Here's pretty much what the board would look like after all the leaves have blown off all the trees. So now autumn is now complete. So now we are in the winter months. And now here is the winter scoring. You can see that there's different quadrants on the board. You got this orange area, you got the water area, you got this area. They're all different shades. Now it's going to depend on how many players have how many leaves in each of those sections. So that's why it's very important on how you lay down your leaves and how important that squirrel could be when you see you might be behind in an area and you might need that actual spot to take over that area. So this is actually it's just mind-boggling. Someone come up with this idea. I love it. So let's go off in this quadrant here. First of all, we've got this orange area here. We're going to see how many leaves of each player there is. So you have 1 here, 2, 3, and you count the squirrel, so that's 4. Okay. There's only one other person that has something in there. That's the purple. So we're going to look at the winter scoring. And if you have one player in first place, which in this case we do, which is orange, they would get 5 points. If you have one second place player, when in this case we do, second place would get 3 points, okay? Then you would move over to the water area here, which we have a lot of leaves in there. So let's say we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that area for orange. Then we have 1, 2, 3 for yellow. And we have 2 for purple. And we only have... So in this case, we would have one person that's in first place. They would get 5 points. If there's 2 or more players in second place, which in this case we don't have, it would be simply just 5 and 3. But in this case, we would have, if you had 2 players of the same second place, then first place would have 5 points, and each of those would get 1 point each. If you only have one player that has one leaf, so let's just say there's only one player that has something in one area. Did I actually do that? Let's see if I did that or not. Like say that, for instance, this went like this, and you only have one player that's in one area, then that player would actually get 8 points. If you have 2 plus, which is 2 players that are tied in the first place, they would get 4 points each, and any other players would get 0 points. So you see the scoring is a little weird, but once you kind of get used to it and once you kind of read it, you can understand it. So the summer scoring, and then you have the winter scoring. So they have 2 of these scorings in the back. They're inside the book too, but I like that they re-put them in the back. That way you can just flip it over and see that. So that's what the scoring is like on that. So pretty much what you do is you count all the leaves in each quadrant, and whoever has the most leaves, obviously you would go to the scoring box here and figure that out. And there's the game. And whoever has the most points after all 4 seasons have been played wins the game of BOSK.